Yo, what is up, guys? Today we are going to be doing a prediction for Thiago Santos versus Glover Teixeira. Now, as you guys know, Thiago Santos, he is currently 21-7. Glover Teixeira is 31-7. These two fighters are both top 5 light heavyweight fighters in the world. Thiago Santos is currently ranked 4th, and Glover Teixeira is currently ranked 3rd, with only Dominic Reyes and the champion Jan Blachowicz ranked above them. Now, honestly, whoever wins this fight is likely to get a title shot against Jan Blachowicz, or if Israel Adesanya ends up fighting Jan Blachowicz and beating Jan Blachowicz in a super fight, they will actually end up fighting Israel Adesanya for the belt. Now, I mean, Glover Teixeira, he is 31-7. Now, if you look at those height and reach for both of these fighters, they're both literally the same. They're both 6 foot 2 inches tall, and they both have a 76-inch reach. Now, the big difference is their age. Now, Thiago Santos is 36 years old, almost 37 years old in, I think, 2 months. Glover Teixeira, on the other hand, he just turned 41 years old about a week and a half ago. So there's definitely a huge age advantage in this fight for Thiago Santos. If you look at those betting odds for this fight, minus 220 for the moderate favorite in Thiago Santos, and then plus 180 for the slight underdog in Glover Teixeira. The betting lines are sort of leaning towards Thiago Santos, and if you look at those Tapology predictions, out of nearly 1,000 votes, 80% of the votes are going for Thiago Santos to win this fight, mainly by knockout. Some people are saying he's going to win the fight by decision, but the main consensus is that he's going to win this fight by knockout. 20% of the votes, 200 total votes, are saying Teixeira is going to win, mainly by submission. Some people say he's going to win by knockout, and some people are saying he's going to win by decision. So they're pretty split on how Teixeira is going to win the fight if he does end up winning the fight. But they're saying if Santos does win the fight, he's going to get a knockout. Alright, so, I mean, Thiago Santos, he started his career off pretty good, actually, as he ended up winning his first 7 pro MMA bouts, with 3 of those wins coming by knockout, 2 coming by submission, and 2 coming by decision. But that's actually where he ended up fighting Vicente Luque. You might know him. He is a top 10 welterweight in the world. He's currently ranked 9th at welterweight worldwide. Top 100 pound-for-pound fighter in the world. But that was actually Thiago Santos' first ever loss. Now, after that loss to a very good fighter, he came back with a head kick KO over Dennis Figueira, but lost his next fight to Cesar Ferreira at UFC 163 by first-round guillotine choke, came back with a first-round body kick KO over Ronnie Marquez, and then got a huge step up in competition against a top 10 middleweight in Uriah Hall, and ended up losing that fight by unanimous decision. Came back with a first-round KO over Andy Enns, a first-round head kick KO over Steve Bosse, a unanimous decision win over Elias Theodorou, and a first-round KO over Nate Marquette. All of that getting him a shot against a very, very good fighter in Gegard Mousasi. Now, Gegard Mousasi, he was way too much for him to handle, as Gegard Mousasi ended up getting the first-round knockout over Thiago Santos, giving him his 4th ever pro MMA loss. And in his next fight, it wasn't much better, as at that time he ended up losing to Eric Spicely by first-round rear naked choke submission. But he really picked it up after those 2 losses with a second-round wheel kick KO over Jack Marshman, a second-round TKO over Gerald Meerschaert, a first-round KO with literally 1 second left in the round over Jack Hermanson, and a second-round body kick KO over Anthony Smith. But in his next fight after that, against David Branch, he ended up going a little bit too hard. He started to throw pretty wild and ended up getting caught right in the middle of the first round against David Branch, getting knocked out with 2 minutes 30 seconds left in the round. But he did come back with a unanimous decision win over Kevin Holland, a third-round TKO over Eric Anders, a second-round KO over Jimmy Manawa, and then a third-round KO over Jan Blachowicz, who is currently ranked number 1 at light heavyweight worldwide and is the light heavyweight champion. All of that getting him a title shot against John Jones. Now, at that title shot at UFC 239, it was pretty close, I have to say. I know for sure that Thiago Santos definitely won 2 of those 5 rounds. Some people think he won 3 rounds. Some people think he won 2 rounds. It was a very close fight, I have to say. But he ended up losing that fight by split decision, and is looking to come back with a nice win over Glover Teixeira to get him a title shot in a rematch against Jan Blachowicz. Alright, so Glover Teixeira, he started his career off actually not too well, as he actually ended up losing his first ever pro MMA bout to Eric Schwartz at WEC by second round TKO, came back with 2 decisions, then lost to Ed Herman, came back with a first round KO, a first round rear naked choke submission, and then a first round KO, and then 5 more wins, one of those wins coming against Leonardo Nascimento, and then a first round KO over Marco Pesili, and then 3 straight wins, and then a first round rear naked choke submission, a first round knockout over Marvin Eastman, and then another win which got him a shot inside the UFC against Kyle Kingsbury, where he absolutely dominated with a first round arm triangle choke submission, and then just kept on winning. He just got a second round TKO, unanimous decision win over Quinton Rampage Jackson, a first round guillotine choke over James Tehuna, and then a first round knockout over Ryan Bader in a main event. All of that getting him a title shot back in 2014 against John Jones. Now, in the fight against John Jones, he did not look good at all, as he ended up losing that fight by unanimous decision. He ended up losing his next fight also to Phil Davis, also by unanimous decision. And then he was scheduled to fight Rashad Evans and then Alexander Gustafsson. But sadly, both of those fights ended up falling through. So he ended up fighting Ovi St. Preux instead. Got a third round rear naked choke submission over him. Then got a second round KO over Patrick Cummings. A first round KO over Rashad Evans. But in his next fight against Anthony Johnson, ended up getting knocked out in just 13 seconds of the very first round. Came back with a unanimous decision win over Jared Cannonier. Then ended up losing a main event against Alexander Gustafsson by 5th round knockout. Came back with a first round TKO over Misha Kirganov. Lost his next fight after that to Corey Anderson by unanimous decision. And then that's where he kind of started his streak that he is on right now with a 4-fight win streak over Carl Robertson by first round arm triangle choke submission. Ian Kutalaba by second round rear naked choke submission, Nikita Kirillov in a very close bout by split decision, and then Anthony Smith in a main event at UFC Fight Night where he absolutely dominated for 5 straight rounds until he decided, I'm going to knock Anthony Smith out, and knocked him out in the 1 minute in the 5th round. Now, all of those wins, that up and down career inside the UFC, he finally got this shot against Thiago Santos in this main event. Honestly, Thiago Santos, he's going to go out there and try to get a knockout. Glover Teixeira, on the other hand, he's probably going to try to get the fight to the ground and try to do what he did to Anthony Johnson in their last fight. I honestly don't think he's going to have that much success with it. I think Thiago Santos is going to have a pretty good takedown defense in this fight, keep this fight on the feet, and end up knocking out Teixeira. I honestly do believe that Thiago Santos will get the knockout in the 1st or 2nd round. Alright, if you agree, disagree, or else want to say, make sure you put in the comment section below. I expect to every single one of those comments. Make sure to like, subscribe with notifications turned on so you don't miss the absolute best MMA content out there. It's been fun, but I'm out of here.